So the All Blacks have just announced their first lineup of the Rugby Championship. They'll be taking on the Pumas this weekend, and to say there are a few surprises in this lineup would be a bit of an understatement. But looking through, number 1, Ethan de Groot, number 2, Cody Taylor, number 3, Tyrell Lomax. This is where no surprises have hit as of yet. Cody Taylor, the vice-captain for the All Blacks, so he is going to be in that starting lineup with the impact player Safo Moore making his way off the bench. In the locking duo, number 4, Tupovai, and number 5, Sam Derry. So no Patrick Tuipulotu in the starting lineup. You wonder whether or not that injury that he is still dealing with is maybe a little bit worse than first let on. If they don't have Barrett and they don't have Tuipulotu, they don't have their experience in the locks. But Sam Derry had a very strong first game up against the Fijians. Tupovai, bit of an impact off the bench up against the English. And now it's the big opportunity for these young guys to get themselves some big starting minutes in the loose forward trio. Number 6, Ethan Blackadder. No Samapeni Finau for this game. We've talked about how Finau hasn't quite stepped up to where he wanted to be throughout that English series. And surprisingly, they haven't gone with Luke Jacobson as that 6. Instead, it is going to be Ethan Blackadder. Perhaps a transition that we will see quite a bit of throughout the Rugby Championship. Number 7, Dalton Papali'i. And then number 8, it is Ardie Savea. He will be the captain for the All Blacks. It's going to be interesting. He's playing at Sky Stadium. Of course, heading to Moana Pacifica next year in the Super Rugby competition. So this could be his last game as a home side at Sky Stadium in quite some time. Number 9, TJ Perenara. And number 10, Damian McKenzie. They have gone more with the experienced 9. Cortez Ratama, I think a lot of people were picking him to be starting in this matchup. They have gone with TJ, and same can be said about him. Since he's heading to Japan, this could be his last hurrah in Wellington. Number 11, this is where they've gone with Mark Talia. It was the 50-50 between Caleb Clark and Talia, but instead picking Talia to start this contest. Number 12, Geordie Barrett, the other vice-captain, with number 13 being Anton Lienert-Brown. So they have decided to take out Rieko Ioane from the starting side. Instead, he will actually be making his way off the bench, and I think that's a great call by the All Blacks because Ioane hasn't found his form this year. Anton Lienert-Brown has looked absolutely phenomenal in pretty much any game he's played in. No Proctor was a bit of a surprise, but I guess that is because of the versatility that Anton Lienert-Brown does offer, the fact that he can play either 12 or 13, and he plays them both extremely well. Number 14, Sevu Reece, and then number 15, to close out the starting lineup, it is Beauden Barrett. He had a great game off the bench up against the English in the second test. In the match up against the Fijians, we didn't see a huge amount of him at 15, but I'm sure he will be extremely evident here up against Los Pumas. Looking through at the bench, number 16, Asafo Amoa, number 17, Ofa Tuangafasi, and number 18, Fletcher Null. So no Tamaiti Williams, no Pasilio Tosi when it comes to the props. Number 19, Josh Lord. So no Tuipulotu like I mentioned in that starting lineup, but he also isn't going to be off the bench for this game. You wonder whether or not the lineouts will be somewhere that Argentina try and target, seeing as New Zealand haven't got a huge amount of experience across their 3 locks. In this matchup, number 20, this is where they've got Wallace Satiti. I mentioned in my prediction for the lineup that it was going to be extremely hard to put Satiti in somewhere, but I believe because they've got Ethan Blackadder at 6, that kind of adds that little bit more versatility to your loose forward trio. Normally when you have Samapeni Finau at 6, you can't do too much with the other loose forwards because he only really plays the 6 and maybe a little bit of lock. Whereas with Blackadder, you can leave him at 6 the game, you can move him to 7 if needed. Ardie Savea, he can move from 8 to 7, worst comes to worst, and then Satiti does get that spot and will be extremely effective. Number 21, Cortez Ratama. Number 22, Rieko Ioane. And then number 23, the return of Will Jordan. It's been a long time since we've seen that man in an All Blacks kit since that Rugby World Cup. Now he gets another chance. He played some preseason minutes for Tasman in the Bunnings NPC, looked strong throughout that time, and he's slowly going to get to build his way back towards that starting lineup. They haven't thrown him in the deep end. Instead, we'll get him off the bench, give him a few minutes near the end of this match. But this game, it is going to be kicking off at 7:05 p.m. New Zealand time on Saturday. Should be an outstanding contest, the first of many for the Rugby Championship, the first of two up against the Pumas for the comp. But nonetheless, do let me know what you think of this lineup in the comments down below. I don't think I saw anyone predict this team that they have gone with, so I guess that is a little bit of unpredictability from the All Blacks, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Could be a very strong lineup, could be a match-winning side. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're going to be back this weekend with the live commentary as well as a preview for this game in the very near future. Be sure to check that out as well. Nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see you all for the next one.